Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why and how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for lending me those ears if you're just listening to this on a podcast or if you're watching this on video. I appreciate those eyeballs. Now, today I want to talk about decision making. Oh, everything comes down to decision making, right? How do we get buyers to make a decision? And by making a decision, I don't mean necessarily close the deal. Sometimes you can close the deal, but sometimes you just want to advance the sale to the next stage. But there's some hesitation, some pushback. Now, recently I released a video called The Confidence Margin. Check that out because it talks about how to use certainty and anxiety to your advantage to create a confidence margin so people are more likely to move forward. But today I want to give you a different aspect of the confidence margin. This is called information asymmetry. Ooh, that sounds kind of cool. Information asymmetry is almost like, there's a difference in information between two entities. Let me explain, and then let's see if you kind of can zone in on what I'm talking about or zoom in. Now, when you talk about information asymmetry, here's what I'm talking about. Let's pretend for a moment that you're a car expert, right? Let's say you go to the car dealership, right? You go to the car dealership and that person knows a lot about cars. I'm making a big assumption, but you get the idea. Now you're buying a car for the first time and you don't know that much about the car. So if height represents knowledge, that person is up here. In other words, the car salesman has a lot of information. You don't know much, so your height is right here. You don't have a lot of information. That difference in information, height, so to speak, the difference in knowledge is called information asymmetry. And when we feel that asymmetry, that asymmetrical aspect of not knowing, we're like, I don't feel like I know enough, so I'm not going to make a buying decision. Here, let me give you another example, because this happens to me. Have you ever talked to insurance people, and 5 minutes into the conversation, you just glaze over? I don't know if that's you, but that's me. Because they have a lot of information, they use a lot of technical jargon, and I get lost very quickly when it comes to insurance, right? So their information is up here, their information level is up here, mine is down here, and because there's that asymmetry, I don't want to make a buying decision because I might make the wrong decision. So what's the key? What's the trick here? In order to get people to make a buying decision, you have to close the information asymmetry gap. And you have to do several things. Two things really at one time, and then add a couple of flavors and levels here. One is if you're the expert, you have to simplify the content. And at the same time, because you're the expert, you have to educate the buyer. And as you're educating and simplifying, you're closing that gap. Now, you can use analogies, examples, case studies, anything that makes it easier for the customer to understand what you're talking about. So again, you have to do two things. Simplify the information, but also educate the buyer. And once you begin to close that asymmetry gap, the person or buyer is more likely to say yes than no. So keep this in mind next time you're talking to somebody. If you see them glaze over or they're not following you, you can tell by their facial expressions, their body language. If they're not with you, something in your presentation is not simplifying or educating them enough to want to make a buying decision or engage with you in a conversation. Again, try it, simplify content, educate the buyer, and more likely than not, they'll move forward with your proposal. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you that selling ain't hard when you can simplify, educate, and you know how. Take care.